Alright, we're here to talk about Home Soil, episode 18 of season 1 for Star Trek The Next Generation. Double checking, yes that is correct. This episode is brought to you by eye drops. Get some eye drops, no. It's an episode. No, it's one of those ones where it's like, this is a good episode, but it was also a good episode when I watched it in TOS. In the Devil in the Dark. Yeah, that's the one. I'm double checking it here, but it's almost thinking like, no, this is good, but it's kind of the same episode. What? Like, yeah. So you don't remember the episode, The Devil in the Dark? It's the episode where there's this creature that's making a whole bunch of holes on this mining planet. And basically it keeps killing people. And they're like, what? Why does it keep killing people? We don't understand. As they're sitting there stomping on its fucking eggs. And Spock does a mind merge with it. And they figure out what's going on. And McCoy does some concrete. And they heal it up good, and then the miners basically end up started working with the creature. Now this episode has a bunch of miners who are basically they're trying to hide something. One of the main ones is what's his name? He's in a lot of the Roger Moore James Bond films, and I've forgotten his name. Walter Gottel? Yeah, he was in a lot of the 6 James Bond films, which, for someone who's not, like, James Bond or M, like, I think, how old was Judi Dench? She was in, like, 6 or 7, so, like, There's quite a lot of James Bond films. There's quite a few. So immediately they're like, hey, I like that guy. Yeah, it's but yeah, the problem is this episode is very much like the previous one. So yeah, he's hiding something, and Troy's like, he's hiding something. It's a bit shifty, mate. That's what she says. A bit shifty. So like, cool, we'll go to the planet whether they want us or not. We're just gonna go anyway. We'll just go there. And they can fuck off. And then they end up getting like a pretty decent tour by everyone. One of the other people in this episode is, what's her name? Let me pull this up. Elizabeth Lindsay? Who's actually Miss Hawaii in 1978. And yeah, suspicious things happening, and then a guy gets lasered, and they're like, "Ooh, that's a bit weird. We better watch out for that and try and save that guy." And while investigating it, Data gets lasered, or at least the laser tries to. But Data's too fast. So Peter basically dodges the lasers, and then fucking destroys that laser. Yeah, one thing they don't mention on this is they're using like a Genesis style device, and you're like, cool. You're not gonna mention like we did 2 whole movies of Star Trek about it? Like Star Trek 2 and 3 are very much about the Genesis like device. And they're basically trying to Genesis the planet. You're like, but the problem is, Gene Roddenberry didn't want to reference like any original series stuff, which yeah is a bit of a problem. A little bit of a problem. It just feels like you need a little bit of dialogue, just a little bit. But maybe everyone's forgotten. It was like 80 years ago, or less. Or more. Not quite sure. But yeah, Data just kind of fucks up a laser. And then Geordie and Data investigate further, and then they find basically a little blinky light. They find a little LED, and then there's 2 LEDs, and then the LEDs try to talk. And then basically the miners are like, what? We didn't know there was any kind of life here. And we later find out it's like, oh, they tried to scrawl like words on the sand. You're like, you're a lying cunt, no, yeah. You lying bastard. It's like, this guy's just lying. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. And then, well, basically we find out that this new life is trying to kind of take over the Enterprise. Gains some control, and is also reproducing. So there's more blinky lights. More blinky lights. More blinky lights. And it does contain one of the almost the best line of all of TNG is was it fleshy bags of mostly water? Is it? Right, let me drop my remote. Flesh bags of mostly water. Was that it? Oh. Ugly meat bags of mostly water. There we go. Wait, I've got 2. Sorry, let me double check.
The universal translator is coming online, sir.
Ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly giant bags of mostly water.
Ugly giant bags of mostly water. Brilliant, but yeah, this thing is like slowly evolving, and eventually they're able to like dim the lights because they realise it's being powered by lights, and they manage to get off the ship and then go, we're going to quarantine the planet. They go, no one goes to this planet. No one goes to this planet anymore. And, because otherwise it would take over the Enterprise. And that's pretty much it. Then they go, bad scientist, naughty. Well, at least most of them didn't know. What, 1 or 2 just like, oh yeah, we know. Like, And that's kind of the episode. Yeah, it very much has, like, I mean, it's not a mining planet, but it very much gives the vibes of a mining planet. So you like, you really are doing a lot there. With an episode that's very similar, a little bit similar, a little bit similar. It's one of these things that's just like, oh, I like this. I like this episode. No, do I? I like it a little bit. I think it's generally, it's like a 6.5. Like it's almost 7. Like it's kind of in that range where it's like, it's definitely above average. But do I think it's like it's not amazing, it's not great. It's kind of just a good episode, just like a bit above average. As an episode, I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I think of it. It's not one I'd probably go back to, other than the fact the James Bond reference, which is something I'm thinking of doing soon. Is I want to go through all the James Bond films. Because now's the best time to do it, is when they're not doing any James Bond films at all. And there's no hype with it at all. I want to go through all the James Bond films. So, yeah, I might do that at some point. Once I finish the Godzilla films, I think I'm going to do the original series film, not the original, all the Japanese films, and then hold off for a bit. Or, so I also want to buy King Kong films, but anyway, I'm getting distracted. Home Soil, good episode. Just good. That's the problems. Not my favourite. I do like the Data just dodging a laser. It's like, hey, and it's one of those. We get to see a little bit of why Data is, yeah, pretty powerful, and you gotta watch out for that guy. Yeah, I think I've rambled enough about Star Trek. I think it's time for me to sign off. And yeah, I think next episode is Coming of Age, which I'm not that familiar with. So we'll have to look at it when we get to it. But for now, I say, live long and prosper.